You're making one right decision today. You're listening to Handcuffs and Sage.
Three badass moms bringing you all the true crime and paranormal your heart desires.
I'm Red.
I'm Timo.
I'm Dre. And don't let your kids listen. Seriously, just don't.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. This is Handcuffs and Sage. Timo coming at ya.
And Red.
Woo, this is Dre.
And this is our double feature on Tiger King. We're finishing up the series, and then I'm so excited to be back to our true crime and paranormal roots next week.
Yeah, everyone has to pay double for this episode. So get your credit card numbers ready. You can, Venmo me. Sure, that's fine. That's fine too. How's everyone doing this week? Good week? Bad week? Shitty week?
Shitty week. Shitty week.
How about you, Dre?
I had a good week. I'm gonna focus on all the positive stuff that we've been doing.
I've been doing
like virtual painting with my daughter. We've been like This woman in San Diego is an amazing soul. She's like been doing free Zoom classes for kids and adults, and like
so
does wine. It's amazing. And then like she makes you feel so good even though you're a shitty artist, you know? So
she's all excellent technique.
I'm super loving it, you know?
Does she send you the stuff, or do you have a list and then you have to order it, or how do you have like the canvases and all the paint and stuff?
So what happens is like she's on Instagram. It's Arte de I can't remember right now. It's like I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to share it with you later. But she basically has you sign up via Instagram or Facebook, and then she sends you like a list of all the paint colors and everything that you need for that night and the time, and then she sends you a Zoom ID, and then you log in and you go. And she's really
that's so cool.
she's really patient. And like one night we had to record at a specific time. I don't know if you guys remember this, like a couple nights ago or a couple recordings ago. I had to be on with you guys like at a specific time.
Right.
And she started at 5:30, and it goes like, it's like 2 hours. So at like 7, I think we recorded at 7. I told Aurora, hey, I'm going to leave you. So go ahead and just finish up. And then, you know, she's fully capable. She's a great little artist. Mm-hmm. And she had questions. So she unmutes herself and she's like asking the artist, like, can I ask you a question? And her
that's so cute.
Her little voice is so cute.
I love that.
So there's like 100 people on Zooming with this woman, and everybody's listening to a little Aurora's voice, like, can you show me that one more time? It was so great. So she did great. And then Aurora was able to show me what she taught her. That way I could finish the art myself.
Oh, cool.
So it was super cute. So I'm super loving paint night. Yeah. And then I opened up the neighborhood last night. So the neighborhood
like
kids
fun too.
Yeah. We put it on the projector and we did a neighborhood paint night. It was amazing.
And you guys were all social distancing?
Yeah. Yeah. Like we did it in groups. So they have their own table and then we had our own table. We were totally separated. Yeah.
You guys made lots of memories. I love it.
Yeah.
Aww.
I've actually done that Pinot's palette a couple times. Well, I've done it like 10, 15 times. I've done it a lot. And I was almost going to get a job there doing being up at the front. Yes. So I don't know, maybe someday I might do that.
Let's keep our options open. We'll see. Yeah. I love that you are sticking to the positives here, Dre, because I wanted to talk about this too, is, I started like a diet journey, right? And one of the suggestions that they make is to keep a journal that you talk about your feelings, right?
Right.
And I was writing down things like that I really love, like focusing on good, right? And there are so many things, little things I think we all miss all the time that are really quite lovely, like in the morning, me and my husband, we have our coffee together and we kind of like listen to Dateline podcasts, and he like 5 seconds in, he'll say it was the husband, and we would just kind of laugh about it. You know what I mean? Like little moments like this, right? There is a lot of good, even with a lot of chaos that everyone is feeling right now and going through. There's still like a lot of good. And I sent you guys a text message, I think it was a week ago, that it had been 1 year since I got the best Mother's Day present ever.
Yes.
My family, got me the headphones and microphone to start a podcast, because that's something I really wanted to do. And I need to focus on that. I made that leap. I went outside my comfort zone. We built this up, and we've had all these adventures and fun times and, you know, moments with friends, you know, all because I said, well, let's try this, right? And I think a lot of people maybe feel stuck in their current situations, with jobs, relationships, whatever. And we all have the opportunity to make a choice every day to do something different. And so, like, when I'm dieting, I feel like every day I'm choosing to be one step closer to where I'd like to be. This is my goal. And what did I do today to get closer to that goal? So I feel like it's almost like a transformation, right? Like you're really working on yourself. And so I'm really enjoying that. And my life is not perfect, right? Things are, you know, blowing up all over the place. But I'm focusing on good things, like lots of really happy, good things this week.
I'll have to start doing that too, because I'm a little bit down. So, yeah, and then I tend to drink my feelings, and that's not good either. But we haven't, my microwave broke, y'all. Yeah,
yes.
It's tragic. My boys are just, every time they put something in the microwave and then they remember we don't have, it's not working, and they're like, yeah, damn it. So I bought a package deal. I bought, because we needed a new oven too, because one of our burners is broken. It doesn't, the gas company had to come and like tape it up and whatever. So I bought a oven microwave bundle, but I bought it last Wednesday, and it's not going to be here until this Wednesday. So we've like literally been without a microwave for like 2 weeks.
Oh my god!
And everybody is just
hard.
Like, it's hard. I never realized how much stuff we use the microwave for.
Oh, absolutely. Like constantly in our house. So, absolutely. So it'll be here Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. And, you know, the boys have had to go back to like boiling their water on the stove, and my other son,
god, it's olden times up in your house.
I saw this like little saucepan, and it was like burnt black stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is in this? So I had to soak it like 3 days in a row, because it just wasn't coming off. And I'm like, what did you do that? What? He's like, it was a bunch of cheese. I'm like, were you trying to make nachos? He's like, yeah. I go, babe, you just can't put cheese in a pot and expect it to come out like. I go, first of all, you need a roux. If you want me to teach you how to make a roux, I'll make you. Or you have to put like Velveeta, like the processed cheese, for it to work. Right. You just can't put like shredded cheddar in there and friggin' make it like nachos.
Why not?
It's so cute.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I love teenage boys, guys. Oh,
I do too. It's great every day.
Yeah.
So yeah. Timo, definitely start journaling and really write down things that are good. At first, it's hard because you're in such a negative mindset. You know what I mean? I focus on negative things constantly. And when you, I really do. So when you have to sit down and make a list, you're like, ugh. But then you're like, oh, I do have a lot of things to be happy and grateful for. Absolutely. Even though things aren't perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So I cannot wait. There's a lot of content here for episode 6 and 7.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
There is. Yeah.
So let's just kind of start off with episode 6. So it says it's Oklahoma 2019, which was not that long ago. It feels like 10 years ago, but it wasn't.
Right. I know.
So Joe is talking about how he has bailed Jeff out 2 times, right? The first time he bailed him out, it was for beating up his wife, Kathy, which was like, oh my God, he choked her. He grabbed her and choked her. And he had to get back. Yes, because the wife confronted Jeff about Lauren, the mistress, right? And I guess that upset him. So then the second time was for sneaking those sweet little baby cubs into hotels. I guess that's a no-no, apparently, and he got in trouble for that. So Jeff Lowe said that in Vegas, animal control came and like raided his house for animals. Like all this happened, and it was like a whole thing. So that's why he came back. It didn't work out in Vegas. Yeah, it did not, because you were a dipshit wife beater, you dick. Oh
my
I can't tell you. I have to say, I hate Jeff.
Yeah, and we got to see him without the bandana and without the hat. So now we get to see what's under all that hair covering. He actually does have hair, but it's like either really blonde or it's really gray. I couldn't tell. But then he has like the full-on mullet curls going hanging down the back. So yeah,
it's disgusting.
It's so douchey. It's the douche of all douches.
Oh, his affliction shirts, his head hat and his bandana all the time. I just want to punch the guy just one real good time. So when Jeff is starting to like make his way back, he's realizing that Joe is starting to lock him out of all the online accounts. Like he can't get into them. So Jeff goes to the bank and the bank teller tells him that, oh, it looks like maybe he's being investigated, right? Because they'll put that red flag on your account, right? And the teller straight tells Jeff, yeah, there's a federal warrant to look into this. So I don't know if she was allowed to maybe tell anyone that. But
no, it was the douche. It was the douche making like goo eyes at her, and she's probably like, oh, I guess I'll just tell you.
Oh God, I would throw up in my mouth.
It's Oklahoma, okay? Yeah. It's Oklahoma.
At me. Oh God, we love Oklahoma. We love everyone there. Okay, so then we see these videos that Jeff made of him like yelling at Joe.
Oh, right? That's the worst.
It's very staged, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a poor production there, Jeff, because he's just like trying to bring up things and say things that Joe did like on video. It is so disgusting, right? And he's yelling at Joe that he used $88,000 in spending to run for president and governor. And we know these are expensive, you know, elections, but Joe thought he was going to win. So I understand he really put his all into it.
Oh my God.
In the videos, Joe has this like look of, what are you doing? Like the whole time, like, why are you yelling? Why are you saying these things? It's just so shady. So Jeff is getting really nasty. And so Joe is freaking out. Like, what is going on with Jeff? Why is he acting like this? So, you know, he starts burning, you know, paperwork and laptops. Of course, that's what we do in this situation. So, you know, Joe, we hear him crying. He's telling them to wipe the computers. He's gathering up anything that he can sell because he's leaving. So, you know, cubs and things like that, right? So
in the middle of the night, he brings a truck in and starts sneaking all the shit out.
That's right. And employees helped, right? Employees went to other states and sold animals. And they said, we thought we were helping Jeff. Like he had people still helping him, right? Which I thought was interesting. I really did. And then Jeff said, you know, that's the last day Joe was allowed on the park. And that if he came back, of course, he would shoot and kill him, right? Because that's what we say to people, that that's normal. And then we see this music video. This is Goodbye.
This is Timo's favorite right here.
To all my fans.
It's been his greatest joy, all of his fans, right? This is Goodbye video was absolutely scrumptious. So thank you.
So great. Yes.
I was like, when I was watching this music video, I was wondering like, why is it that this music is like kind of enjoyable? I like it. I will listen to it. Where's the person who actually sings it? Why is it Joe lip syncing in these videos? Where's the actual singer? So I think we should do a deep dive and try to find out who is the actual singer of all of this.
Listen to this. So my latest passion, my latest addiction has been TikTok. I'm not actually doing TikToks, but stand by. I started my account today, so who knows? I might be doing some TikTok videos, but I'm literally addicted to it. Well, I saw a TikTok video where there's this chick sitting on the couch and she plays this one song that we haven't heard yet on Tiger King. It's like from the album, so you have to buy the album to hear it. And
okay, I will.
So she's playing it.
I will
and
buy the album.
Yeah, so she's sitting there, she's playing it. She's like, this sounds very familiar to me. Where have I heard this before? Then she plays a, oh God, what's that new country singer guy? Oh God, I should have remembered this before. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Okay, I'll have to come back. I'm gonna search for it on Google. But the song is almost identical to the song that Joe sings, and it sounds just like the dude. Oh God, what is his name? He's a famous country singer, you guys.
So it might be him. And when he was starting his career,
yeah, when he was starting, yeah, like 10 years ago, because he's fairly new. Like he's been out like maybe 2 years, but he's gotten Grammys, and he's like the hot. Oh gosh, I got to look at this top country guys. Caden, shitballs.
It's all right.
Yeah, you go on. Okay. Yeah, move on. I'll find it.
All right, buckle up, y'all. Here we go. So they get new phones. Him and his new hubby, Licious Dylan, are on their way to who knows where. And they've got new phones. They don't want to be tracked. You know, Joe is very emotional talking to the camera. And people are like, well, you know, who wins? Or what about Carole, right? And Joe's crying, and he says, you know, she deserves to sit in jail for killing her husband, right? So he's, you know, really always locked on that, always and forever, completely. But he says he believes in karma, right? And then he gets up and starts throwing up whatever he was eating at this house.
Oh, I kind of felt bad for him at that point, because they're like, are you all right, man? Are you all right? Like, he got so upset that he threw up. And I've done that in the past where I've actually gotten so upset and I've thrown up. So I felt kind of bad for him.
Absolutely. Well, all of a sudden he has no zoo. He doesn't know what he's going to do. And he thinks Jeff is after him, or somebody's after him. Right?
He's paranoid. He said, I put 20 years into it. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. And then he's like, I'm done. Like, and not by choice. Like, it was, you know.
Right.
You know how he talks about karma? It's really kind of crazy to think that, like, the karma is actually coming to him because of all the shit he's been doing against Carole, against everybody. Like, it's finally settling in on him, you know? And it's sad because I feel like Joe's not such a bad guy. He's kind of crazy and he's done some really shitty things, okay? But, like, his heart, I feel like he feels justified in a lot of these things. And he doesn't feel like this should be coming to him the way it has been. You know, I feel kind of sorry for him.
Absolutely. I do. I was feeling very bad for him. I really was. And Joe is talking to the producer, and he really doesn't want anything to rile Jeff up, right? He's very worried about Jeff. And, you know, the producer is at the zoo, and he's, I think, got a hidden camera or something. And he's talking to the cashier there, and she looks like she has some stories. Wow. And the cashier is saying, you know, that the new owners are awesome, right? And they're telling everyone that Joe has retired. Joe has retired, y'all.
Right.
And I guess just a couple, you know, mornings after Joe was gone, Jeff and Lauren had their morning meeting at work and told everybody there that Joe is going down, right? And Josh, you know, the campaign manager, who I love and I adore, he said that he just had a terrible feeling in his stomach when he heard, you know, them say that he's going to go down. He didn't know what that meant, right?
Right.
So, John Ranke is saying, you know, he heard, like, the reason why Joe is going down is that he solicited someone to kill Carole. He's like, but everyone all the time said, I hope that bitch dies, or I want to kill that bitch. Like, this is normal slang for around the zoo, like, constantly. Do I like it? No, I don't like it. Does it feel shitty to hear all the time in these episodes? Yes. But that does seem to be something that they all say all the time. Like, that's a theme at their zoo, like, fuck Carole, right? But I don't think anyone ever thought that Joe was actually going to kill Carole ever. I don't think that was something that they thought Joe had in him, right? And we see Saf, and he's always the voice of reason. always.
I
Always says the
love
right
him.
thing.
I
Yes.
swear, yes.
Yeah.
Sitting there, and he goes, do I think Joe hired someone to kill Carole? No, he doesn't have it in him. And I believe anything he says, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to stick with Steph on this one, and I'll get to my reasons why. So there's a security guard, Mark Thompson. I guess it was Joe's security guard, and he's saying that Joe came up to him and he said, I heard you can take care of a problem down in Florida. Well, there are several problems in Florida. I don't know which one he's asking about. And Mark said no, and I won't, right? So what context did this happen? Was Joe kidding? When did that conversation happen? I think we always have to think about that, right? And we learn a lot about Jeff and Alan. They're both felons, right? They're really amazing, upstanding citizens, just nice people all around. And then James, we find out, is a felon, which I'm not shocked, right? And apparently James tried to sell at some point John Ranke a stolen Hummer.
Yes.
How pissed would you be if you found out someone tried to sell you a stolen vehicle? That would piss me off. And he said the case is still pending.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then did you hear when Ranke said, there's a bunch of rats in this neighborhood? So you guys, I did that.
Rats.
I searched for it on Google. Okay, so Kane Brown, you know that little cutie, Kane Brown? Okay, well, he sings a song, it's called For My Daughter. Now, I don't know what song Joe Exotic's is that matches it, but it's like almost like identical. But I did look up, there's a man named Danny Clinton. He's the one that sang all the songs for Joe Exotic. He died in October, right before the documentary was released. So he can't be interviewed. He can't be anything. So yeah.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah. So I'll play that song for you guys later, so you can see, and then we'll find the Joe Exotic one and see how it's perfectly matched. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at James. James being interviewed, and let me say, I can't stand James. I think he's a disgusting human being through and through, and he's a fucking idiot through and through. He's a moron. So he's saying,
is he the one that looks like the adult size Chucky doll?
Yes, that's right. That is correct, Dre. That's who we're talking to. And he was saying that the two guys were trying to get, Carole whacked and trying to figure out the easiest way to kill Carole. And then they were talking about how the easiest way is when she's riding her bicycle down this like long pathway that we've seen in many videos, and it is quite annoying. It really is.
Right.
It is. And they thought that would be a good time to get her when she's riding her bike, right? And Jeff Lowe is talking about how Travis would say, oh, well, he could shoot her back when Travis was alive.
Right.
And Joe would say, no, you're my husband. You go away forever. You're not doing that, Travis. You're not killing Carole. Damn it, Travis.
I love that part. I mean, it's so like, oh yeah.
He loves him. So Alan has a teardrop tattoo, which is super classy. And Alan is a classy guy.
He is.
And we all know that a teardrop tattoo means you kill someone, okay? And Jeff is saying, is Alan capable of killing someone? Of course. Duh. Hello?
Yeah.
Have you met Alan?
Got the proof on his face. Come on.
When they were talking about that stupid teardrop, they did like a close up, like real slow into his tattoo. It was so dumb.
It was so. And I guess Alan, said, I could bring her head back if you want. And Joe was like, no, get rid of it. Put in the swamp. So this is them talking about Carole, apparently. And then Joe, like a fucking crazy person, put a picture of Carole's property on his social media.
Yeah, from Google Maps.
Joe was always doing this. He's just poking away and poking and poking and poking. And that's what him and Carole do to each other. That's that's their game that they do. It's never ending. So then we see a video, and this video was like nails on a chalkboard to me. It's of Carole, and she's got this hoodie with mittens on, and it's like purple, red, pink, and it's like a cat hoodie. And she's like this with the video, like trying to be all cute and sweet, and it just makes me sick. She's just so annoying.
You know, there is one thing I have to say about all this Tiger King business, though, is like you see like the full-on leopard and tiger print totally becoming like back in style. Like everybody wants it.
You know I'm gonna rock that shit. I'm gonna rock that. Yes.
I've been waiting for this day to come because I
love it.
And it's even like Lisa Frank for all you like young kids back then. This was like a famous sticker lady, and she always did the animal prints in like fluorescent neon colors. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm all about it. I want it all. You know, did I tell you guys I got free Crocs from Crocs as a nurse? And they sent me cheetah print. I was like,
oh my God, I love that.
I know, so cool.
I'm like, how did they know what was in my soul?
How did they know? The one down thing about like animal print or tiger print is I love it. I feel sexy when I wear it, honestly.
Miss Peggy Bundy.
That's right. My husband's like, you look like Peggy Bundy. So that's an issue.
Good. Rock it, baby, rock it.
Rock it. I would want to be her in a heartbeat. God, she's tall, boobies, beautiful. Yeah, okay.
Give me love. Yeah, absolutely. So Jeff is talking about how it would definitely be better for Carole to be gone, right? And Jeff, this is how he's breaking it down. He feels like Joe's a liability. Is Joe a liability? Absolutely. The guy's Looney Tunes, and he likes to run for office constantly and make videos, and he makes really dumb mistakes all the time. Joe is a liability to Jeff. So Jeff Lowe meets with James, of course, at Applebee's. Where else would you have a very serious conversation but Applebee's? And Jeff told him to call Carole and say, for $500,000, I will serve Joe up on a platter for all kinds of crimes. Right? So he offered James $100,000 to do it. Right? And so then we hear Howard talking. Howard and Carole are on the porch, and they're all super annoying. And Howard is saying, well, she got a call on her cell. She didn't answer it.
We knew that it was from Oklahoma because of the area code.
405 area code.
Right.
And then a text came in. So we sent it to law enforcement, right? Of course. And a special agent called James. These fucking idiots, what did they think was going to happen? Honestly.
What did the text say? If you want information against Joe, return the call?
Yeah, give me a call. Right, give me a call. So the special agent hits up James, and they talk. And this is just absolutely amazing to me. James has been naughty and has bought an illegal lemur. He used bogus paperwork, and he broke the law. And the special agent said, I will fuck you over. I will make your life miserable because of this lemur situation if you don't do what I want you to do. So all because of a lemur, honestly, is why we're here.
He was like loving on it through the cage, that poor thing. But
all the next sequence of events can come back to because James bought an illegal lemur. Okay? Honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Right. So the lawyers were basically saying, we will fucking hand you your ass if you don't do this. So he becomes a confidential informant, right? And James said, no, it was the noble thing to do. No, James, you didn't have another way to do it because you wanted a lemur. Fucking lemurs, dude. Oh my God. Noble thing to do, my ass.
It's so funny because he says like right before it was a noble thing to do, he's like, I fucking hate the government. But yeah, I'm gonna listen because it's the noble thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So John Finley's sitting there, and the guy in the interview asked him, like, oh, so what do you think about James being the informant? And John was like, what? What? He was blown away. John could not believe that James was this informant. I could watch that moment over and over and over again. He was honestly stunned, had no idea. And Joe said
he's
also,
like, that's James for me.
Right. Joe is talking about how James also had illegal credit cards. He was the king of credit cards. So James is an all-around shady motherfucker, and he's just trying to stay out of trouble with the government while also doing the noble thing and becoming this confidential informant, right?
Right.
And this is when they call him a walking Chucky doll.
That's so funny. And he's like walking through. I think that place that he's like, his office is like one of those like overstock kind of places where you buy stuff and then you resell it, because it's like a mismatch of all kinds of stuff. It's like a thrift store kind of deal. But he's actually walking, and then you hear Joe, he's just a walking Chucky doll.
Oh, and it's so perfect. You're correct, Joe. That is exactly what's happening. So in 2017, Joe ran for office. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, yeah, that happened. So he told the FBI that Alan was doing the hit, right? So the FBI called Howard and let them know that Joe was going to come and kill Carole, right? And they weren't surprised. And honestly, with seeing all of Joe's social media postings, I mean, it's not shocking. Right?
The blow-up doll getting shot in the head.
Which is just terrifying. When he did that, I was like, oh my God. I would be scared too. I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we meet Amanda Green. I never want to fight Amanda Green. I never want to cross Amanda Green. She is the federal prosecutor, and she will fuck you over. She doesn't give a fuck. She does some kind of like jujitsu or Muay Thai or some shit. It is Amanda's way or the highway, y'all. Okay. And Alan is talking, if anyone rats me out, I'm going to kill everyone. And apparently, Alan was talking about if anyone says, what he's up to, he'll kill them all. And I guess he was doing a lot of cocaine at the time, which I am shocked that Alan was drinking and doing drugs. Just shocked.
Right.
And Alan was saying, Joe put trust in him to do it. So Alan disappears. Apparently, he was supposed to be going to Florida to kill Carole, but he disappears. Okay. So Carole's talking, and she said she heard, the rumor was that somebody was going to drug her with ketamine, put her in a car, and then chop her up and put her in a swamp, which is an absolutely terrifying idea, right? That's awful. Like, if she really thought that was going to happen, I do feel bad that she was scared. I do. And then out of nowhere, Alan texts James that he's coming home. Like, he's not going to do this hit all of a sudden. He's coming home, right? And Alan is sitting there, and you guys, Alan is an ex-con through and through, okay? That's who he is. And he's sitting there, and he's saying, apparently I chicken the fuck out and didn't make it.
I decided to party instead.
Because that's what he had to say happen, right?
Right.
For him to have to say that he chickened out is something I'm sure is not fun for Alan, and I don't see him chickening out of anything ever. Okay?
Right.
I don't ever see Alan being like, I'm too scared. Give me a break. Give me a break. So, all of a sudden, James gets a guy who is pretending to be an undercover agent, right? And he says to Joe, hey, Joe, I got this guy. He'll do the hit for you. And for some reason, Joe, I guess, trusts James, which is stupid. How much, right? And he said, I can give you a clean pistol. I can give you like 5,000 now, 10,000 later. Let me sell some tigers, right? Apparently this is, you know, things that Joe said, but did Joe ever follow up with any of those things? No. Did he ever give this person any money? No. Can I see that being a scenario where Joe is joking? Yes. If that conversation ever happened, right? So the same time the FBI was waiting for Joe, Jeff had these Vegas issues that we talked about before, right? He accidentally choked his wife and he accidentally snuck Cubs into a hotel to make money, okay? So James, of course, told Jeff what was going on, even though he was a confidential informant, and usually those things are supposed to stay confidential. That is correct. But James, I guess, didn't know that. He didn't read the paperwork when he was signing up for it. And so Jeff, of course, being Jeff, is like, oh, really? I'm going to talk to the feds, right? He knows that if he goes to the feds with something on Joe, he can get a lot of these issues cleared up, right? Right? Jeff is an opportunist. Okay, he's an opportunist. Right. So Jeff, yeah, I should have it. I'm having a blueberry lemonade seltzer water. It's delicious. So Jeff told James that Alan was sent to kill Carole, okay? He then told Alan to help the feds, right? Like, we can get out of a lot of trouble here, buddy, if you say the right things. And this is what you need to say. But I don't want to put words into your mouth, but this is definitely what you should say in this situation, right? So Alan says that Joe only gave him $3,000, okay? When he says this, I think it's quite interesting that even during the trial and everything, we never see a payment of $3,000. They look through his finances. They can never prove that that payment was made. It's purely on Alan's word that it happened. And Alan doesn't seem like someone I would trust, especially if he has something he wants the feds to clear up for him, right? He might say maybe anything. Okay, maybe. So just my thoughts. Okay, so they were indicted, or Joe was indicted the summer of 2018. But Joe was on the run, right? Him and you hubby Dylan were out just living a life, and they said all over their social media that they were in Belize.
Yes.
Right? They were in Belize, right? Turns out they were not in Belize. They were in Florida. And it's funny because James like, that's Florida water.
Yeah, that's panhandle water.
I know panhandle water, right? So they were still in Florida, and Amanda Green said that they pinged their phones, right?
Yeah.
To find them. And we see this video of Carole. She is so giddy, right, to go online and to make this video, and she's not talking about what animals like ate or didn't eat or shit or didn't shit that day. She got to go on and make a video and say, you know, Joe Exotic was arrested, and she was just thrilled.
Yes.
Right, just thrilled. So we see interviews with Joe after he was arrested from jail. You know, he was talking to Sylvia, this news reporter that we've seen like throughout the series, right? And she says a lot of very interesting things. Like she knows he's a clown. She knows she can always get good TV with him. But in a lot of ways, she's on his side about a lot of things, right? On how he kind of got screwed in a lot of ways. And she just thinks a lot of things are kind of fishy, right? Then we see that Jeff and Tim Stark, who is another owner of the zoo, are building a new zoo, right? They're going to do this whole new zoo. And that's kind of how we leave it, right?
Right.
So Joe has been arrested. He's in jail, We don't know what's going to happen with Joe. And then all of a sudden, Jeff is besties with Tim, and they're starting this brand new zoo. And that's how we leave that one.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to start off episode 7, and we see a really fun scene, right? Joe's at the carnival, and it's like pastimes and good times, and he's like playing games with Travis, and it's just kind of sweet, right? Like good times. There were good times for Joe and his friends, and part of me thought, like, was this a part in a music video? Do you remember any of these clips being in a music video?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. It looked like maybe they were recording something.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Well, yeah, remember, like, Joe recorded every part of his life, though, so I think that's just part of it, you know?
That is true.
Yeah.
So we see all these, like, old time, good times with everybody, a happier time. And then we hear from Joe, and he's crying from jail, right? And he says, you know why animals die in cages? Because they're soul dies.
Right.
And he's talking about himself. He's now in a cage, right? So Jeff is partnered with Tim for this new zoo, and I'm actually really surprised by this partnership, honestly. But then I think, well, maybe Jeff wanted to do a new zoo, but he didn't have the money to do.
Well, yeah, of course. And I don't think Tim Stark was privy to that information. I think he thought Jeff was loaded, and he's like, cool, you know, I'll partner up or we'll have the best zoo in the world. And then, nope.
Yeah. Right. It's such a facade with Jeff. It's so pretend and fake. It's really fucking sad. So we see Dylan, you know, he's talking to Joe. He's trying to reassure him, you know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for you. You know, you have these calls from jail 3 times a day, every day, right? Which I'm surprised that Dylan was still hanging around. I don't know what the whole thing with Dylan is. Like, is he actually gay? Does he actually love Joe? I don't know.
If he was straight and he didn't really love Joe, he should have like boned out real early. So maybe it's legit. Maybe he does really love him.
I think it might be legit.
Yeah, like
good for you,
around for
Joe.
that.
More to come.
Yep.
So the feds were let in by Jeff. They went through Joe's house. They fucked it up. It was ripped up. The house is just in shambles, and there's horses in there, right? They're just letting animals go through it, right? And what's interesting about that is, you know, Joe wasn't found guilty yet at that point. What if Joe is let off and got to come home at some point? All his shit was fucked up. I just thought that was interesting. So they dug up, and they found bones of big cats of 5 tigers.
Yeah.
Now, I don't remember them saying, maybe you guys heard this. Did they say that they found like shotgun holes or gun holes in the tiger? They didn't.
No, But they don't care because the whole murder for hire was kind of like not working. So they had to come up with something else. Like, where did they know to dig? Like, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, Jeff told them. Yeah, Jeff told them.
Yeah,
all
okay.
about it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then we hear from Doc Ansel just a little bit here. And he, you know, Doc is a very smart guy. Very smart. And he's saying, you know, they added the animal charges because the murder for hire was a very flimsy case, like you said, right? They had to do this. So, of course, Jeff is giving them all sorts of information, right, to keep people from giving him issues with anything he did, right? And they're saying because of all the animal abuse charges that he's looking at 79 years, right? He could possibly get 79 years in jail. And Joe is saying, look, I euthanized 5 tigers, okay? And the thought of that is like, oh my God. But then you think about it, he runs a zoo. I'm sure there are times that you have to euthanize animals, just like we do at vets, right? Sometimes dogs have to be put down. So that's
they don't live forever. I don't know what the natural lifespan is of a tiger, but you know, it can't be more than 10 years. And if he was there for 20 years, of course he had to euthanize. They get in fights, they eat the Walmart meat and get sick, you know, who knows?
Right, the Walmart meat. And then he has to euthanize them.
Right.
But
Right.
I that's not crazy to me, right? That doesn't blow my mind. Okay. So then we see like Jeff, he's doing like things, you know, on the news, talking about how he's building this new zoo and he's got these little cubs, and the newscaster's like, yeah, these little cubs, you know. So Jeff is putting himself out there like, this is brand new. He really wants to pull away from Joe, right? Mm-hmm. So Jeff left James out of this new zoo deal, and James is fucking pissed about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And James is kind of like, I told you my confidential information that I was not supposed to tell you, and you got out of your bullshit because I told you, and now you can't even let me be part of this deal, right? Mm-hmm. And Jeff's like, that's not how this works. He couldn't put any money into it, right? So we're seeing people's true colors all the time throughout this entire series, how they think and how they do things. And James then says, Jeff Lowe is the one that put the idea together to kill Carole.
Bum, bum,
Straight
bum.
up.
Yes.
Straight up, right? So then we see John, and we're talking to John Ranke, and I just love him. He's just a sweet man. And he's really fucking ticked off because he's really stressed. He's lost a bunch of weight, and he had to like go and buy pants for like the first time in 20 years. And, you know, the poor guy, because he has to like go and be in court, and he's involved all of this. He said he's involved in all of this because he once stopped at the zoo to feed a bear, and then he ended up working there for 14 years. Right now he's going to court. He's got to buy pants. So.
Did you see the pants that he bought though? They were like the cargo that had the zipper short.
Yes.
So. Yeah. He's like, I had to buy pants, but
like I'm still getting my shorts out of it.
Yeah. They will be shorts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, they will.
Right. Yeah. So then Josh, the campaign manager, has an interview with, you know, the feds, and it's so funny. He's like, I'm a libertarian. I am fuck the feds, right? Fuck the feds. But they said, you're either with government or you're in big trouble. So make a choice. And he said it was like the scariest moment of his life. Like there was nothing he could do, right? And then Eric, I love Eric. He talks about how he hates going to court. I don't even get tickets, speeding tickets, because I'm a good boy, you know. But he gets really emotional, and I'm pretty sure he's drunk. When
no, I think he's more, he's coked out.
Oh, God.
He can barely like sit straight. He's like falling off to the side.
Oh, Eric. And he's just talking about how the cats trusted him, and like he felt like he let them down. And
they looked him in the eye.
Oh, God. It was so sad. You know, there's so many emotions for everybody on different levels here, right? And then we see Carole, and she's putting on her very annoying pink lipstick, getting ready for court, right? The color she's putting on is just atrocious. And then
I thought it was one of the dudes putting on lipstick because I couldn't really see who it was. I'm like, who the hell's in drag? And then it's friggin' Carole Baskin.
Who's in drag now, man? And so she gets her day in court. She testifies in court about everything that happened. And again, I can see, like, from Carole's point of view, it would be absolutely terrifying if you think someone's going to come and kill you. After seeing all the social media postings and stuff, it makes sense to me why you would think that was actually going to happen, right? So I don't want to take that from her. That would be wrong. But then she was like, you know, if I died, you know, that would really push her movement forward. Right. Like she made that statement. I'm like, oh my God.
She'd be like a martyr.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Shut up, lady.
I was like,
she wishes.
Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't be that bad if I was murdered, because it would go. It's like, shut up.
Right. So then they were talking about how, like, Joe really didn't have people on his side at the trial, like sitting behind him, like there.
So sad.
Right?
because they put everybody in the spot. You've got to testify against Joe, or we're gonna fucking take you down too. So everybody did it because they're like, fuck, what did I do on camera all these years?
Right. And I thought that was really interesting. And we have to remember that Joe had a public defender. It's not like he had a lawyer that he was paying. And public defenders are overworked and they have a lot to do. And he didn't even put John Reinke on the stand. Right?
They didn't?
No. And John was like, why not? I worked there for 14 years. I was his right-hand man, because John could have said things. They did not put him on the stand. Again, he had a public defender. Okay. And so James goes on the stand, and this Chucky motherfucker actually admits in court that Jeff was part of it. Jeff was part of this plan. Right?
Yeah. What the fuck is going on with this court system in Oklahoma?
Hello. So I thought it was real interesting too that Jeff did not testify. They didn't have Jeff testify because he would have to perjure himself, right? He was absolutely part of a plot to kill Carole Baskin. Alan was his guy. He was going to send Alan down to do it. And then he said, whoa, hold up, wait a minute. We have a chance to like clear up some things and fuck Joe over, right? That's what happened here. Right. So then, of course, we see Alan taking a bath.
With the shorts on.
Wearing a pirate, like, head cap, which was amazing.
With bubbles.
Everything about this moment, right? I want to know, did Alan say, hey, record me in the bath? Did a producer say, hey, why don't we do a bathtub scene? Right? How did this happen?
Oh my God.
I can't. Why? So, why? But thank you. Thank you, Alan. And so Alan is saying, I never went to Florida. I don't like Florida. If Alan doesn't like Florida, oh my God, nobody go to Florida. Oh my God. So then Joe, this is what Joe is saying. And we heard this before. Alan would never listen to him. He would ask Alan to do something, and Alan would say, go fuck yourself. You're not my boss. I'm not going to listen. Right. And it came to a head with Jeff, right? And Joe said, look, Jeff, he doesn't listen, blah, blah, blah. And Alan needs to go. And Jeff told him, look, like, give him like $3,000 and we can set him up in another state and kind of like start fresh somewhere else, that it's not working out here. So if there was money given, that's what it was for, right? Yeah. Then we hear Jeff talking, this royal piece of shit, and he's like, well, what is setting someone up? Like recording our conversations, encouraging him to say certain things? I don't think so. I call it investigating.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So then we hear, the producers talking to Joe from jail, right? And the producer's like, how you doing? What's going on? And Joe's like, I feel good about my jury. I feel good. He's feeling pretty positive about everything.
Because he took the stand and he,
right.
The attorney's like, no, you're not going up there because nobody does that. But guess what? Joe Exotic did. Like, of course. Yes.
He does what he wants.
Yeah.
He does what he wants.
His last in the spotlight, hoopla,
Oh my gosh. What if he was able to wear like an orange sequins like jumpsuit on stage?
Imagine.
That would be amazing. That's a good Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we better have Halloween, guys. I want to see all the Joe Exotic costumes out there.
I want Halloween.
Well, if everything goes well, we'll be doing Halloween in Florida.
Oh!
Well, I don't think Alan will be there because he hates Florida. So Joe was actually feeling very optimistic about everything, and then we find out he was found guilty on all counts. I believe it was 19 counts. So we hear Joe crying from jail. He's just at a very low point, and he's like, I'm being treated like an animal, which people, of course, find very ironic and everything. And then we hear Howard. And Howard and Carole are talking, and Howard's like, that was a champagne and brie evening. And I just go, who? Oh
but they're eating shrimp. They're not having brie. They're eating shrimp.
No, they were talking about the night that they found out he was guilty.
Gotcha.
Was a champagne and brie night.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, of course, Howard is serenading and singing in the most weird, awkward way to Carole as she watches him. And she's using mind control, right, with Howard. It's just very awkward between them always. They always just make my skin crawl. They always do.
Did you guys see when they were interviewing Eric about how he felt about the guilty verdict? And he's working as a cook in a restaurant, and it's called Redneck Haven.
Yeah, Redneck Haven.
Love it. I want to go there.
The food's bomb, dude. Bomb as shit.
Oh my God.
So then we see Lauren is pregnant.
Oh my God, this part.
Oh
my God.
This is just craziness to me. So there's
douche of America right here.
Oh my God. So Jeff's
so gross.
It's disgusting. It's
Poor
disgusting.
Lauren.
Jeff, Oh, I know. And Jeff is talking about Lauren being pregnant and their daughter Sarah is due on such and such date. And then we're going to get Lauren back to the gym.
The next day. The very next day after she's induced. Get the fuck out of here.
She's all giggling. And we all know, right? As older women, we've been through some things. We've seen some things. And we're all like, oh, baby girl. Oh, honey. Do you need me to pull up with a white van? I will pick you up right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. And then they're talking about, of course, they have to have a hot nanny.
Right?
Of course. Because that's what Jeff wants.
Right. He's like, I told Lauren I'd get her a nanny, but I got to pick her or I got to choose who it is. And he shows his phone to the camera of some like hot Latina girl. Yeah.
And she's like, well, if she's bilingual, she can teach the baby another language. And Jeff is just looking at her like, no, I'm going to bang her.
Oh my God, Lauren, what are you doing?
Now he's taking notes from Doc Antle.
Yeah. He just writes down everything that Doc's doing. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to do that. So then we see Chucky on a sea-doo.
Oh, Jesus. To Eye of the Tiger.
Over the waves to Eye of the Tiger.
Bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum,
my God.
bum, bum.
Oh my gosh.
It's an amazing moment.
Oh my gosh,
cinematic
so great.
History.
Yes.
We will never forget this moment, right? Oh, James, you're so cool. You're so cool in your sea-doo, right? So, John Ranke is sharing with everyone that he tried to call the feds, right? And say, what about everybody else? There's so much shit going on. What the fuck? And the Fed said, oh, no, it's not over. Like, we got other shit cooking up. More stuff's coming, right?
Second season of Tiger King.
Right. So we see Dylan, a little baby husband, getting into his storage unit, pulling out papers that obviously Joe has like ready to go to give to the feds because Joe is fucking pissed. He's going to take everyone down with him. And then he's working with PETA. We hear that Joe has decided to work with PETA, which is actually very smart because PETA is not going to fuck around, right?
Yes.
And they were like, yeah, Joe's going to share all this information and it's for revenge. Like, we don't care. We're going to take them all out, right? And then Dylan accidentally is showing like paperwork like to the camera, and one of them says Doc Antle, like Horace Dale, and they say, not that one, not that one. And he's like, okay. Right?
Too late. It's on film.
Right? And then we're hearing rumors that Doc Antle puts like HUDs in a gas chamber, right? Because once they hit a certain age, they don't make as much money, right? And so they have it. They have an
Brenda,
on-site
what was her name? The
crematorium.
cute little girl, Brenda, that went there and then she left. And
Yeah.
they were asking about her tiger that she was so in love with, and then just one day he was gone, and Doc's like, don't worry about it. I know where they are.
Right. Yeah. makes me sick. So they're saying that he has an on-site crematorium for this, which is disgusting.
It's
right?
disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Yes.
Right. So then we see Jeff and Tim fighting. Things are not well with Jeff and Tim, right? I couldn't have seen this coming.
Man, what happened? Oh my God, what happened? They look so happy.
I just love how Tim always has a monkey on his back, like holding them. It's so funny. I'm like, I want a monkey.
There for it all.
No, oh wait, I have one.
I have one in the other room.
Yep.
So, Tim was saying, look, this was a 50-50 partnership and I was paying for absolutely everything. Oh my God, Jeff wasn't putting money in? The same reason he kept James out of the deal because he wouldn't put money in? So that's who Jeff is, everybody. I swear to God. So then we listen to Saf, and he, again, is almost like a god on this junk pile. Every time he's interviewed, just says something deep and wise. And he goes, nobody wins. Not a single animal benefited from any of this. And they all, claim to be all about animals, and none of them benefited from any of this bullshit, right?
Right.
And that's the point. They all got lost in revenge, anger, ugliness, negativity, stealing, all of it, right? It was just a hot mess. And then we see John Finley, and he's finally getting that fucking tattoo. What did it say?
This is for Joe, only for Joe Exotic or something.
Property of Joe Exotic.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Right above his Hubadahada.
Right. His Hubadahada area was now redone, and he got a giant bull to cover up the whole thing. So that's classy. That's cool, John. What else are you gonna do? What else are you gonna do? Yeah. And then we find out that John Reinke, he's been through a lot, and I guess, he left his wife after 30 years, and he misses the cats, but it looks like he's maybe into like sprint car racing, which is a super cool sport. So he's kind of doing a new normal kind of thing. So that
little car that he was driving, they show him like driving around town in that, like, is that a sprint car that like open, like, I don't know and then there's like a full-size skeleton.
Yeah, sure.
Sitting in the passenger seat with him, like, what?
That is correct. Yeah, he rides around with that skeleton in his cool-ass car. No, sprint cars are actually really cool. We take the kids to sprint car races. They're a lot of fun. So it looks like he's into that. That's a fun sport.
There's a scene where John is like with a lion, and there's a bunch of the little wiener dogs running around. It was crazy. How did that lion not eat those wiener dogs?
I don't know. I was like a tasty little, like an hors d'oeuvre. You know? Little hors d'oeuvres.
What, like 5 or 6 little wiener dogs? Yeah. Oh man.
And they were like all like kind of jumping on the tiger. Like they're all friends.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's cute.
He's a lion whisperer.
So then we hear from Josh, the campaign manager, and he's just talking about how everyone lost sight of what really matters here. Again, back to what Saf was saying, right? It was not about the animals. They all acted a fool, and this is, where they ended up, and who knows what else is coming, right? And then, last thing we see is that Joe got 22 years. He was sentenced to 22 years. And then we see that Doc Antle was raided December 2019.
That was 6 months ago, dude. 6 months ago.
There's probably more to come, right? Buckle up, more to come. Honestly, this was such a good series. I loved it. I really did.
Going back a little bit, Josh was talking, I think it was Josh that said it because no one was on camera, but they said that Joe started out good. Like in the very beginning, he was all there for the animals, and they were showing clips of him, and you could tell they were like 20 years ago, where he was like all for PETA and no breeding and whatever, and then just the money got to him, and that's what changed him. And then the chimps, I was crying. I was crying. He's like, I had to get rid of my chimps. I put them in a cage for 10 years side by side, and then I took them to this chimp rescue, and the first day they were just loving and hugging on each other in a big yard, and I'm like, I was like so sad.
I know. But he did the right thing.
He did
the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of really fucked up situations, but a lot of laughs.
Yes.
I really, I mean, I could watch it all over again, honestly, even after all this. I loved it. And there's probably things that we missed, of course. But I really enjoyed it. So next week, we're going to get back to true crime and paranormal.
Yeah.
I have such a good story, guys. I was actually working on this before the whole pandemic happened and before we knew that we weren't going to be able to record together face to face in our studio. And now I'm super excited. You guys, this is going to scare the fuck out of you. So
I can't wait.
I know it's been one of the things I wanted to do for a really long time. And it's something that besides The Exorcist, because it was a movie was made from this true life story. It scared the fuck. It still does scare the fuck out of me. It really does. And it takes a lot to scare the fuck out of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Woo, it's scary, man. It's scary.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We did it.
We did it. Bye bye, Tiger King. Unless season 2 comes out and then.
Yes, we're doing season 2, y'all.
Yep.
All right. So follow us on Instagram. Check out Twitter, Facebook. You can email us at handcuffsandsage@gmail.com. We have a website, handcuffsandsagepodcast.com. Check out our Patreon. Support us, right?
We're on YouTube now.
Ooh, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, so every episode that we've dropped in the past 4 weeks, I think, is now on YouTube, so you can actually listen to them. But then go to iTunes and tell us what you think, because we need those comments and those reviews. And I think Dre's helping me out too. She's figured out a way to kind of do all of our back episodes, even back maybe to our Superfuck days. But I don't know. We might just start at handcuffs. But I'm actually working on a video that me and Red shot back in September of 2019, right before the Halloween season. We did a little craft corner where we made voodoo dolls, and I finally got to it and I started editing it. I don't know. I think we might put it on Patreon or we might put it on YouTube. We have to have a little meeting and see what we want to do with that. But we're still super fucked when we did it. You know, I think we were 8 episodes in when we did it. So it's very crazy just to see how we've evolved from back in that time. So yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, thank you so much, you guys. This was fun. It was a good week. We'll get through the next week. It'll be good times.
Yeah, I'm going to do what you, I do have a little journal thingy that I bought at the beginning of the year. It's like a witch's journal and it has all this cool stuff in it. And then I've kind of set it aside and I haven't been looking at it because it's kind of sad to do a planner when you have nothing to fucking plan.
Yes.
I'm going to the bathroom at 10 a.m. I will make my lunch at 12. I might walk the dogs, take them out to potty, then come back in. But I'm going to start journaling in there and look on the positive.
It's helping me. It really is.
Okay, cool.
I highly recommend. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're ready.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
We do what we want.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's okay.
It's all good. It's all right.
Have a good week, y'all.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Bye. Handcuffs and Sage is hosted by Red, Timo, and Dre in a shitty guest room in Los Angeles.
Theme music is Leave Now by We Are Wasted. Cover art done by Megan Winchester.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Show us some love on iTunes. Be a badass and do what you want. Until next time.